Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper, and today I'll be reviewing the original Legend of Zelda game for the NES, or the Nintendo Entertainment System, which was released back in 1986. So, the main plot of the story, which is basically a very simple plot, is that Ganon has taken over Hyrule, and the princess, who is called Zelda, has split the Triforce of Wisdom into 8 parts and has scattered them around the kingdom. And it's up to you, Link, the hero, to basically find all 8 pieces and basically defeat Ganon. So that's basically a simple plot, like a video game 80s simple plot as it is. And I think for the time, it's a decent enough plot. It's not that simple, it's not that hard, it's just you, the player, just going around the Kingdom of Hyrule, going through different dungeons and collecting different pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom and just battling monsters, bosses, and such. So this was an idea by Shigeru Miyamoto, who thought of the idea when he was remembering his childhood, like when he was going through caves in his back in I think like back in his home in Japan, I think, when he was a child. And because of how expansive the game is and how difficult some of the parts are if you're playing it for the first time, this was the first game to implement the save feature. Now, you might see games like nowadays that might have like automatic saving or the options where you can save, but the Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda, was the first game to ever have this feature, and there's a good reason for it. There might be a part of the game where you're at the boss, let's say, of a particular dungeon, and you die, and then you have to go back to the beginning of the game. But Shigeru Miyamoto thought about this and implemented the save feature so that people who might die, let's say, towards like halfway through the game, let's say, will be able to go back to that part of the game that they died at when they saved. And I think that's really cool, because if that wasn't around, or the Legend of Zelda was never made, then there'll be a lot of things different. We might hadn't had the games we might have had now. So we might be doing other stuff like reading a book, playing snooker, and making love. If you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, the graphics don't really hold that up that much in today's standards, because now we've got HD graphics and graphics that look realistic, and back then those graphics would have looked amazing on the 8-bit graphics would have been really cool, and a lot of nice graphics. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But yeah, and also this game introduced a lot of the bosses that would be introduced in other Zelda games, like Gohma, Ganon especially, Dodongo, or King Dodongo, depends on how you name him, and various other things that will be added into future Zelda games. And now it's time for some gameplay. Now, the gameplay for its time is very basic. It's not like your traditional game you might play now, like if you're playing something like The Witcher, GTA, or a current Zelda game. This is very much different. So like, you can only like do certain hits in certain directions. So you can like up, down, left, right, and it's very basic. So you have to like, and you kind of have to predict some of the enemy attacks. So for example, the Octoroks, the Boblins, the Bokoblins, Moblins, in this game. So yeah, so you have to be very you have to make sure that you know you're protecting where your enemies will be coming up from, where they're going to be shooting their projectiles, how you're going to like counterattack, and how you're going to like prepare and think. And yeah, that's basically it for the gameplay. There's very little I've got to say about it. So, what I like about this game, for the time, it's a really enjoyable experience. For being the first game released of the Legend of Zelda series, I think it's a nice game that brings in a lot of good things, like the fantasy elements, the exploration, the adventure that future games have made a living off. So if it wasn't for this game, for the original Legend of Zelda, we wouldn't have, as I said before, any of the other games we have today. And I think this is a good like starting off point for like people who back in the day would have played on Nintendo systems, and it's really a really popular game, I think, still in nowadays. And it's also inspired a legend in itself, and a timeline, just one massive timeline with all the other games that it has in it. If you know what I mean, then you know about the timeline. If you don't know about the timeline, I'll probably make a video on about the timeline, maybe, if you want to see that. So yeah, if this video gets, I don't know, 5 likes, 10 likes, 5 to 10 likes, I'll make a video about the Zelda timeline. But yeah, so that's been my review for The Legend of Zelda. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell for more notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.